Now you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends 6-inch Defenders box set from Hasbro. Now this set is being released as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and it comes packaged in this special box that's made to look like a New York City subway, so it's pretty cool. So I apologize, this thing is made out of basically silver foil material, so it reflects the light really badly. I don't really have any way around it. If I turn all the lights off, then you won't be able to see it, so I do apologize for the reflection. But this is, you know, again, it's made to look like a subway car, so this is actually a slip box, which I'll take off in a moment. But on this side you've got graffiti for the Defenders logo in the hand, and you got the subway car number, and it tells us the next stop is going to be West 50th Street, and over here it tells you no alcohol, fighting, pushing, loitering, you know, something you would see on an actual subway car. It says do not lean on door, though I don't know if you'd have it on that side. Usually that's on the inside, but whatever. You got some more graffiti down here. You've got the Marvel Legends logo over here. And then in the window here, you've got on this side, it looks like Daredevil with his billy club and Jessica Jones, and they're fighting off some thugs. On the front, you've just got a subway door, and that's the same on the other side. And then on the other side, it's pretty much the same thing as far as the same graffiti and everything, but in the window you've got Cage, Iron Fist, and Colleen Wig. Those are the 5 figures in this set, again fighting off some thugs. So pretty much the same thing on this side, just different characters in the set that are featured on each side of the windows. Now as I said, this is a slip box, so basically you can just remove this. Get that out. Now this, on this side of the inner box, it's pretty much the same thing on the outer, though now you'll notice that the heroes are just kind of relaxing, they're not fighting anybody. So again, a different scene with the windows. You've got basically a little bio over here, and then this thing just measures, it measures about about 24 inches in length. And then the height of it is just under 8.5 inches. So it's a pretty long box. It's not tall or anything, but it is a long box. You've got some windows on the top here, so to let some light in. You've got those subway doors again on the sides. And then on this side, when you take the slipcase off, then you can actually see the figures, and you've got the inside of the subway. So you've got the heroes just chilling out. You've got Iron Fist over here by himself. I don't know if he farted or something, but nobody seems to want to sit by him. He's doing some chi or whatever. And you've got like a, looks like a Rand Corporation poster behind him. And then Cage and Jessica Jones are sitting on the couch, or not the couch, but the seats, and no can of beers, no 6-pack of beer or anything. And then you got Daredevil standing in the doorway, and then Colleen over here. Okay, so I've gone and removed the figures from this subway car insert that comes in the packaging, and honestly this is kind of one of the coolest things about this set, and you should be able to use this for your toy photography or what have you. And it looks like a New York subway car, and if you want, you should be able to take out these plastic inserts that are used to keep the figures in place while it was in the packaging, but you should be able to remove those, and then you can still, you know, put your figures on the seats here, the subway seats and all. So overall, you know, you've got nice detailing. So on this end, you've got the door, and you've got a crack in the windshield here. You got that sign, again, it says no drinking, fighting, and all that stuff. You've got a subway map here, and then over here you've got an advertisement for New Harlem Renaissance, and then you've got the door here, and you've got up here at the top, you've got all these different advertisements for stuff that we see in the various Netflix series. So we've got Trish Talk from Jessica Jones, the Royal Dragon Restaurant from Luke Cage. Also, that was the place where they hid when they were hiding out from the Hand in the Defender series. Then you've got the Metro General Hospital, which is where Claire worked. And then you've got Alias Investigation, which is Jessica Jones's little PI firm. And honestly, I don't think she could afford New York City subway advertising, but nevertheless, there you go. And then you've got the Blake Tower for District Attorney, and then finally you've got the dojo where Iron Fist and Colleen hang out. And then you also have, looks like a Rand Corporation poster. It says, "We're here for you." You got the big Rand R symbol there. And you've got the DRA, Defenders Rail Authority symbol here on the door. Now, of course, that's not what the New York City subway system's called, but for this set, that's what they're calling it. You've got, you know, your next stop is West 50th Street, and you've got some controls, a circuit box and everything back here in this corner. And then you got some stuff, some garbage and stuff on the floor in the seat. So you've got a newspaper here. This one says "City launching cleanup following super intervention," and it's from the New York Bulletin. And then you've got an empty beer can. I guess Jessica's got her beer. And you got a fare card here on the floor. And this one is for shawarma. It's an advertisement for shawarma, so I guess that's a nod to the Avengers movie. We've got another fare card here. Another newspaper. This one says, "City still recovering from Battle of New York." So another nod to the Avengers movie. Also, you notice the paper is the New York Bulletin, not the Daily Bugle. The Bulletin is the newspaper featured in all the Netflix series, so that's why they're using that. So again, a nod to the TV series. And then you've got another fare card here on the ground, and another beer can over here in this corner. And then over here by this seat, you've got a rat that looks like it's stealing a piece of pizza. Okay, so now for the figures themselves. So there are 5 figures in this Comic-Con exclusive box set. So we get Colleen Wig, we get Matt Murdock as Daredevil, and he comes with an unmasked head. Then we get Luke Cage, we've got Iron Fist, and finally Jessica Jones. Okay, so we'll start off by looking at the Iron Fist figure in this set. Now, this is the first time that we're actually getting a Netflix version of Iron Fist, so this is likely the biggest reason why most of you will want to get this set, so you can round out your Defenders team. Now, I suspect, and this is just my personal feeling at this time, but I do believe that at some point Hasbro will probably release an Iron Fist other than the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set, either on a single card or maybe as a 2-pack like we are seeing with the Cage figure. But I don't think this will be the only way that we ever get Iron Fist. That being said, if you want an Iron Fist now, this is the way to go. As far as the look of the figure, I gotta say that I don't think this is a good representation of Iron Fist and how he appeared in the Defenders series. This looks more like how he appeared in the first season of his own series. He had the bushier, curlier hair. It was more flat in the Defender series, even more flat when we see him again in the second season of Luke Cage. But this, hairstyle is definitely how it looked in the first season of Iron Fist. So from that regard, I think they did a good job with the hair. As far as the Defenders, though, again, I don't think it's a good representation of how he looked in that series. And then he's got the full-on beard and mustache, and that's a darker color than the rest of the hair, so they don't match up. But, I think that's actually probably accurate. And then he's got the skin tone with the eyes and everything, and that looks decent. I won't say it looks 100% to the actor's likeness, but again, based on how he looked in the first Iron Fist series, I don't think it's a bad representation. And then this outfit that he's wearing, again, this looks like more like something he wore in the first Iron Fist season, not in the Defenders. He did wear a suit in the Defenders series, but he had a tie and everything. So again, I don't really think this is a good representation of what he was wearing in the Defender series. It's not a big deal to me, whether it's the first season of Iron Fist or not. But, just since this is technically called a Defenders box set, you would think they would go with more of his look from that series than the first season of Iron Fist. He's got, his glowing hand here, and that's done with the right hand, and that's done with the translucent yellow plastic, and I think that looks pretty good. You don't get any alternate hands with this version, though, so you're stuck with him always being in Iron Fist mode. The left hand is done open, so if you want to kind of have him, he does that pose where he's got his fist in his hand, then that's basically what this figure is set up for, or for like a karate chop. But, that hand is, stuck in that open position on the left. And again, there's no alternate hands with this figure. If they end up re-releasing this figure in some way, I'm sure they'll give us alternate hands. He's got the button-down shirt, which is completely buttoned up. Another thing I think might have been cool is if they had left the shirt unbuttoned so that you could see his Iron Fist tattoo on his chest. But as it is, they've got the shirt completely buttoned up. And then he's got the gray coat. The coat's a separate piece. The sleeves of of the coat are sculpted on there. And then he's got the gray pants with the very white tennis shoes that he's wearing. And some of you have noted that this looks like the same body that we saw in those initial images for the Stan Lee Build-A-Figure. It may be, since I don't have it, I can't say for sure, but it does look kind of like that body that they were going to use for the Stan Lee Build-A-Figure, obviously with different hands and a different head sculpt though. Okay, so for the second figure in this box set, we get Colleen Wig, and like with Iron Fist, at least currently, this is the only way you can get this character. And overall, I think they've done a good job. She's wearing the white jumpsuit, which is what she wears in the Defender series. And it's got the little hoodie on the back here, which is sculpted. And you've got a little symbol here. I'm not sure what that symbol was, but you can see it. It's covered up by the hoodie, but you've got the markings that kind of come out behind it. So nice detailing. She's got the blue markings on the front here. The jacket is somewhat unzipped, and she's got a white shirt underneath. So again, this seems to be pretty accurate to what she was wearing in the Defender series. She's got the pants that come up to her calves, and then she's got the tennis shoes with the white socks and the laces and everything. So nice detailing with that. She's got the wrappings around her hands, and you can make out her fingers and stuff, so that seems accurate. And then with the head sculpt is actually not too bad. I think they did a decent job of capturing the actress's likeness. My only complaint comes with the mouth. And for some reason, they kind of left the mouth open so you can kind of see her teeth, but it kind of makes her look like she's bucktooth or something. I don't know. It's just kind of weird how they did that. Otherwise, though, I think they did a pretty good job. I like the way they've done the hair. The hair's in the ponytail and it's all black. So I think they did a good job with that. And my only other complaint with this figure is this figure here at the crotch section. You know, no matter how you turn the legs, it's very hard to hide this gappage that's between the leg and the actual crotch section. So that does have a tendency to show up kind of badly. Now, Colleen comes with a sword and a sheath, and we see her carrying around a sword in the TV series all the time. She doesn't really put the sheath on, she just carries it. So that's what they've included, and it's done with white like we see in the TV series. Now, I'm thinking this was probably used on another figure, the sheath, because it's got a little peg that looks like it's meant to plug into something, but there's no place to plug it into the Colleen figure. And again, she never really puts on the sheath, she just carries it around. The sword we've definitely seen before. Now, the handle's done with white with some metallic gold, so it all looks pretty good, and then the blade is done with just that kind of silver color. Okay, next up is the Luke Cage figure. Now, Luke Cage is also being released as a Walmart exclusive 2-pack with the Clara figure. So I already reviewed that set, but this figure is exactly the same sculpting wise as that one. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually gotten your hands on that one. I don't believe it's actually started to be released here in the United States yet, but it has been released overseas. But with the one that's the Walmart exclusive 2-pack, he's got the yellow shirt. With this new one, he's wearing a reddish color shirt, but otherwise it's the same sculpting. The pants are a little bit different color. You know, it's more blue on this Comic-Con exclusive version, and has more of a wash effect in the Walmart exclusive version. I prefer the Walmart exclusive version just because I like the yellow shirt better. And honestly, I think Hasbro had a missed opportunity here. I think if Hasbro had just done something simple, like add a soft goods hoodie with maybe some bullet holes in it or something that you could put on the figure, I think that would have been a nice addition that would have made getting this figure again. You know, again, you may decide you may not have this one yet since it hasn't officially been released here in the United States yet, and you may opt to get the one in the Comic-Con exclusive set. I don't know, but if you already have, or if you like the yellow shirt better, you know, the figures are basically the exact same. You've got the watch on the left wrist, and he's wearing the short sleeve shirt, you know, same sculpt and everything, same head sculpt, just a little bit different paint applications. Okay, so next up is Daredevil, and Daredevil here, figure-wise, is the exact same figure that we got previously, so if you already have that one, you know what to expect. There's really no differences at all. He's got the billy club, which you can put here on the side on the left leg, or you can take it out and have him hold it as two different pieces, or you can put it together. We see this with all the Daredevil figures, so nothing new there. And then the sculpt on the figure itself, the outfit and everything is exactly the same. The only thing that's different about this figure is we get the unmasked Matt Murdock head that you can put on the figure. Now you also get the masked head, which again is exactly the same as the previous one, so you can have the mask, but what basically makes this figure unique is the unmasked head. Now I've got to be absolutely honest with you, I'm not too fond of this unmasked head. I thought the PR images that were released for this set, the unmasked head looked a lot more like Charlie Cox in this final version. I think it's more the paint than the sculpt that throws it off, but the eyes and maybe the way the mouth is painted, it just, I don't know, it just throws it off to me. He's got some 5 o'clock shadow, and then he's, you know, the hair is sculpted decently with the brown and everything, though it's a little too clean. They could have maybe messed the hair up a little bit, but just something about the face is off to me and doesn't really look like Charlie Cox. And like I said, the promotional images we saw for this figure, I thought nailed the likeness better than this final version. Daredevil, I think, was another missed opportunity. I think if they had just taken a figure, one of those suited figures that we've gotten in the past, and stuck the unmasked head on it, maybe given us an alternate head with the scarf, with Jessica Jones's scarf wrapped around it, because, you know, he wore a suit a lot in the Defender series. I think that would have been a lot better. And then if you wanted, you could take the unmasked head and stick it on the Daredevil figure you probably already have. But as it is, like I said, they just gave us the same figure and gave us the extra head. And then the final figure is Jessica Jones, and this again is the same figure that we got previously, same head sculpt, same legs. The only difference is she does not have her jacket on, so they've taken the jacket off and then they gave her different arms that didn't have any, you know, sleeves on it. But otherwise it's the same figure as before, only the shirt is now a gray color and the jeans are a little bit different paint on them. But otherwise, you know, this is exactly the same figure. So I can't say that this figure does a whole lot for me. First of all, I don't recall her ever being going around in the Defender series without any sleeves. It was winter time when the Defender series took place, and so, you know, they were dressed for warmth, not summertime like, you know, this seems to be. So this seems again more something like maybe from one of the seasons of Jessica Jones as opposed to the actual Defenders. In all honesty, I would have rather Hasbro just given us the same figure as before, only with the addition of the scarf. You know, I took a scarf, I made a scarf from a Jyn Erso figure, but I think if Hasbro had just given us an actual scarf, that would have been better than the sleeveless shirt that I don't think she actually even wore in the series. Okay, so these figures stand. Daredevil stands right under 6.5 inches tall. Iron Fist is about the same height. Jessica Jones is shorter. She comes in about 6 1/4. Cage here is taller. He's the tallest of the bunch, as he should be, and he comes in just a little bit under 7 inches tall. And then Colleen is the shortest of the bunch, and she just comes in a hair over 6 inches tall. Okay, now I'm not going to go over the articulation with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, or Luke Cage, since those figures are all essentially repeats, but I will go over the articulation with Iron Fist here, since he is a new figure, so he can turn his head to the left and to the right, and he is a ball hinge joint, but you can really only get the head down without popping it off that much. And then you can get the head up about that much. You get a little bit of head pivot with this one. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so he can get the arm up about that much. And then he's got good rotation there at the shoulder. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double jointed elbow, so good bending there. And then he's got the rotation with the hands, and he's got the hinges on the hands, so up and down movement. Same with the Iron Fist. He's got hinges, so he's got the up and down movement. He's got a midsection joint, so you can, actually, I'm sorry, that's an ab crunch joint, so he can crunch forward that much. And then he can look back about that much. The jacket does limit some of that movement a little bit, but not too much. He's got a waist swivel, and then with the legs, he can do the splits that much. And then he can get his leg forward good, and he can only do his leg back about that much. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee. And then with the feet, you've got the hinges, so up and down movement. And he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. And I'll also go over the articulation with Colleen, since she's also a new figure, so she can turn her head to the left and to the right, and she can look down really good, and she can also look back really good as well, even with the ponytail. And then she also has good head pivot. With the arm, she can get her arm out good. She's got good rotation there at the shoulder. She does not have a bicep swivel and only has the single hinged elbow because she is a female Marvel Legend. She has rotation at the elbow, and then she has rotation with the hands and hinges on the hands, so up and down movement there. She's got a midsection joint, so you can rotate there at the midsection, and you can pivot to the left and the right. She really can't crunch forward very much, and she can look back about that much. And then she does not have a waist swivel. The legs, she can do the splits that much. She can get her leg forward good, and she can only do her leg back about that much. She's got a thigh swivel. She's got a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee. And then with the feet, you've got hinges, so up and down movement, and she does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. I'm not going to go over the articulation with Jessica Jones, but I do want to note, because the way they had her in the packaging, it is kind of warped the knee joints here, so you can notice like her legs kind of protrude out. The joints are kind of rubbery on this one. I didn't have that issue with the regular Jessica Jones, but just note that, you know, you might have to take a hairdryer if you want to try and straighten this out a little bit, because she might come out of the packaging with her legs a little bit warped. Okay, so that's my review. So first of all, let me just say a big thanks to the folks at Hasbro for sending me this set out early so I could review it for you guys. Now this is being offered as a Comic-Con exclusive, but it will also be made available on the Hasbro Toy Shop website after the convention, I believe starting on August 13th. Also, for those of you who live in Canada and are attending the Canadian Fan Expo, which I think takes place in September, the set will be made available there as well. Now, we do have some complaints about this set. It's not a perfect set by any means, and I also think there's some missed opportunities that Hasbro could have done to make the set more appealing, but there are also cool things about this set as well. The coolest being the packaging. I really think the packaging is definitely cool, and not only cool looking, but has practical uses as well, especially if you're into things like toy photography and such. That subway car diorama will, I think, definitely come in handy. So packaging definitely gets an A+. As for the figures themselves, the figures are kind of hit and miss. Now with both Colleen and Iron Fist, again, my personal feeling is these figures will see a release in some way, in some form down the road, but I can't guarantee that. So if you want to be assured of being able to round out your Defenders team, then you probably would still want to go on and pick this set up, because again, I cannot guarantee that they will re-release those 2 figures down the road. Okay, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this set. Let me know in the comments section below. Also, if you're so inclined, please like this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down below. I'd really appreciate it. You should also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload new videos. And of course, you can follow me on my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts. I have links to all of those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.